There are many ways to create blocks in AutoCAD. Any drawing can be even used as a block, so you can start a new file and draw a block there. Later, you can insert that file with the insert command. Now it's a block in your drawing. Or you can combine objects in your current file to make a block inside it. Then you can export that as a block or as a file to be used later on. If you start with a blank file, like I have right here. If not, you can type in the word new, click acad.dwt for the template, and pick Open. Now, let's start a new block here. We're going to draw a chair. We want to keep it simple. So let's use some rectangles. So let's save this file before we get started. Let's call it chair. I started a file here already, but I'm going to overwrite it. Call it chair. In my case, I want to replace it, but if you have a brand new file, then you won't have that option. It'll just start the file. Okay, now we have a blank file. Let's check our units. Let's go to architectural and inches. Click OK. Now we want to create a very simple chair. Let's do that. Let's use rectangles. Type in REC. Pick a point anywhere right now. Let's make it 2 feet tab by 2 feet. Enter. That's a basic chair. Now it needs a back. We'll draw another rectangle. Snap here. And let's make it 2 inches wide. Let's draw another rectangle for the back. And we'll put it in right about here. Anywhere is good. There we go. That's a basic chair. Save the file again. And there you go. You just made a block. Now, if you wanted to create that same block, but keep it inside your file, you need to use the block command. Otherwise, this file alone, all by itself, can be used as a block in another drawing. And I'll show you how to do that with the insert command. But if you want to make a block inside your drawing itself, you just type the word block on the command line, press enter, give it a name. Let's call this chair. Pick a base point. Now that can be anywhere. Just think about it for a minute though. When I insert this block, what do I want its reference point to be? I mean, where do I want it all to be based off of? It can be right in the middle of the chair. It can be in a corner. It can be in the middle of the back, middle of the front. It doesn't matter. And you can always change that later. I'm going to pick the midpoint of the back. Okay, now we've established the insertion point of the block. I'm going to select the objects. This rectangle and that one. Once you've picked everything, press enter. Here you get a little preview of what it's going to be. And now you can set up some behavior. You can allow them to be exploded, which is probably an okay thing in this case, but you don't have to do that. We'll talk about exploding later on. Give it a little description here. This is a chair. Block units are okay. Okay. Now when I pick this object, you see it's now a block. There you go. You've created a block and you can insert this, you can copy it, you can mass produce it very quickly. That's all there is to it. Draw your line work, select it, and then have at it. If you want to export a block that you've created in your file and save it somewhere, you have a couple of choices. You can pick from a list of the blocks in the current file, or you can create one from scratch or whatever. But first you want to start with the command called wblock. Press enter. Now you can create a block right here, or you can export the entire drawing. This is essentially going to copy the file, or you can pick from a block that's already in your drawing. We have one right here. Just click down on the arrow. It'll give you a list of the blocks. That's chair. And now you pick where you want it to go and your insert units. Well, we drew it in inches, so we want to keep it in inches. Let's find a pathway for it. You can save it to your cloud. And I'm going to call it chair. Click OK. And there you go. You just exported a block. Now it's available for you to use in any other drawing that you want. A good practice to follow when creating blocks is to make sure you draw its contents on layer 0. We talked about this in the previous section, but I want to remind that to you again. When a block's contents are on layer 0, they will take on the properties of the layer they are inserted on. That allows the creator of that drawing to be able to use this block in any way that they want to. They can make it dark, they can make it thin, they can make it dashed line work, continuous line work, etc. But if you commit to them a set of layers, they can't change that block en masse, especially, or quickly, or they can't even change the block individually. They're stuck. They have to go into the block editor, change your block so that they can have the opportunity to change it on the fly. So always draw your blocks on layer 0. Make them by layer. It will save you time and effort in the end. Plus, you'll be able to use the same block in many different ways in the same drawing.